Annyeong! It's Mikey here, and guys, thank you guys so much for your support. Can't believe how far this channel has come, and it's almost at 4,000. That's incredible for the amount of time it's been since I hit 3,000. Now, it's all thanks to you guys, and I'm truly grateful. And please keep writing comments down below so I know how to improve this channel to make it even better. Now, today I have something a little bit special. I have the Lofree Lite. So thanks to my friend who actually lent me this out to review it and take a look and even loop the switches, tear it down, and much more. So let's get straight into it, and please make sure to like and subscribe.
So starting off with the unboxing of the Lofree Lite. Thanks to my friend for letting me borrow this and actually do the unboxing of it myself. So we're gonna grab my trusty X-Acto knife and open this up. Now, I know that the Kickstarter did incredibly well and many people supported it and was getting the Lofree Lite, and it made me wonder too, how good is a Lofree keyboard? Because Lofree's been really picking it up in the low profile market. Now, it comes with the 90-degree cable, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not, because the Newfie Air 60 had it on had that cable as well because the port was on the side. This one's actually, I think, supposed to be on the top, so we'll see. You don't really get much else. You're not getting extra switches, which I really wish they did provide. Now, the knob is really nice. Gotta admit, like really clean. It gives you this really nice area to hold a USB dongle, which is great because you're going to carry it, especially this is a low profile that's meant to be carried. Now, as I said, so the USB dongle is on the top. I don't know if a 90-degree cable really is the best for this kind of keyboard, but let's weigh the board, see how much it weighs, and then we're gonna go into the sound test. So this thing weighs about 550 grams, and let's hear it. So we did the sound test, got the Spectre switches, and my friend wasn't able to get the other switches that were available, so we're only going to be doing a sound test on that one. But we're going to get this thing opened. I do see that there's 2 screws that are on the bottom corners, so we're going to get those screws out using my trusty screwdriver, the electric screwdriver. These are star-shaped screws, so make sure you just get the right size. It's kind of an awkward size. It's pretty small, but not too small, so we're going to have to use this one. And yeah, let's get this thing open and take a look inside, of course. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is grab my electronics opener kit. We're going to try to wedge it into the sides and see if there's any points that come out easily. And I'll see how difficult this thing is to open, because depending on the boards, some are really difficult. Like the Newfie was incredibly difficult to open. This one, let's see how it is. Now, there were points here where I felt like it was very easy to actually get the tool in and start to kind of, apply the pressure to get it open. And yeah, there you go. That was super quick. So this one is incredibly easy to open for those that do want to take a look inside or modify their boards. Now, this does come with a foam on the bottom. It's a very interesting foam. It actually is completely molded into the bottom of the PCB, as you can see. And you can also see that the plate, so the PCB plate, or like the plate itself, is actually the top part. So it's actually top of the case, and it's also the plate. So these switches go right into there, and then they have this silicone in between the PCB and that plate, which is the top. So it's not like it's a separate top case with the plate, but no, it's just the plate right there. Now, this is coming with a 2000 milliamp hour battery, so not really big, quite small actually. And of course, I'll have to see what the battery life is like on these as well. Now, yeah, that bottom foam, very interesting that it's completely molded into the shape of the PCB, but we're going to try modding this thing. I'm thinking that because there's not a lot of space, because it is a plastic board, we're just going to try to do a tape mod. So I'm only going to do 1 layer of tape. Don't want to do too much, because again, not a lot of space, and because of the molding of the foam, I also don't want to kind of ruin that either. If I put too much tape, then the PCB shape doesn't really come out, and then it gets too thick and it's hard to close. So we'll do just 1 layer. So after doing the 1 layer of tape, we're putting it back together, which is actually very easy. This board was really simple to take apart and actually put back together. I was quite surprised with that, especially as a low profile board. That's something I think that's a plus, especially if you're someone that would like to modify this. Just make sure you get that cape on the top carefully put back in, because you don't want to put too much pressure on that and then something rips. So, and also don't forget to put the screws back in, because that is also keeping this plate all together. So very interesting, gotta admit, very simple to modify. And yeah, I mean, I'm curious if it really does make any difference, but have to admit this board does sound good for sure. Like good to type on, and sounds really good so far from what I've seen. So of course, after putting this whole thing together, we're going to do a sound test. Now going into a review of the Lofree Lite, and gotta admit, I really do appreciate this board. I mean, You only get one angle though. So a lot of the like Newfie ones, for example, you actually get two different angles. This one you only get the one, which is eh, some people might not like it. Some people will be okay with it. I didn't mind typing on this board compared to say other low profiles. Didn't feel like the angle was too bad. One thing, I'm sorry that the camera's not actually focusing properly on that, but you actually need to turn on the board to either use it wired or wireless. I think that's a really not great feature. I'm not sure why you have to turn on the switch for wired and then you have to turn on the switch for wireless. It should just be wired or wireless, but that's just a feature that I noticed. Now this is the new Spectre switch. It's from Kale. It's a full palm switch, and I actually really like this. It sounds really good, and it felt really good in this board. I was quite surprised, and honestly, this is kind of one of the reasons why I loved my Choki LP, like the low profile, but wish that it had the ability to use Kale switches. I think Kale is making so many different low profile switches, and they sound so good on this one. Like, it sounds really good. Better than the ones in the Choki I found. But yeah, I mean, this thing sounds great. The angle's not bad to type on. It's not amazing. I still do think wrist rest helps a lot more. I personally feel like typing on a low profile makes my wrist hurt sometimes, especially if it's in an awkward angle. And just having a wrist rest really helps, especially if I want it to be more ergonomic and just a much better feel. But I've been using this for work, and it's been really great actually. But of course, I also want to give you guys a little bit of the backlight testing. So let's take a look to see how bright it is. And yes, the keycaps are shine through. So you're able to see a full shine through of the lights through the keycaps. The lighting around the keycaps on the bottom is not as bright as you think it might be. But you see that the lighting actually gets through the keycaps itself. So that is actually really nice. Now, going onto the website to get a little bit more information on this board. So it is supposed to be 1,000 hertz. This board is $100 right now. If you got on the Kickstarter, of course, you got it much cheaper, which is, I think, a good deal. But it is still $100 USD, and it's a full plastic board. They do have 3 different colors. I do appreciate the different colors, and I mean, it is a clean board, right? I really think this board looks super clean. The only thing is that for 100 USD, I don't know. If you got on the Kickstarter, I think it's a lot more worth it. But for 100, it's hard to say, especially when it is a full plastic board that I'm not sure if the plastic quality is like that amazing either. The thing is, the board has been done well though. Like the sounding, the dampening that they put, really great. I still don't appreciate that switch in terms of wired or wireless, but the sound profile of this board has been done incredibly well, and I have to admit that it's really good. Now the 2000 milliamp hour battery, it's okay. The battery life is not too bad. I mean, you're still gonna have to charge it, right? So that's how all wireless works. Now they do provide the software really simply right there, like easy to grab. It's a very simple software. I'm gonna be honest with you, I was kind of disappointed in it. I thought that Lofree would have done something even better in terms of software. Like, I thought they would have put a lot more work into a nicer software instead of something like this. This is something I expect. Like, this is a software I expect from very, very budget keyboard companies. Lofree doesn't come off as that, right? Lofree has made this image and brand image where they're selling really like more nicely made keyboards. Yet the software is just your bare minimum. You don't get to change the lighting color, so this keyboard only works with the one color. But you do have the different, brightnesses and like how you like the rhythm or different design of the light, but no color choice at all. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of disappointing, honestly. Like, thinking about it, I would have probably preferred this to be VIA compatible instead. That would have been actually a much nicer software thing for me, I think. Now, doing keyboard inspector, of course, we do see that it is 1,000 hertz. So you're getting 1,000 hertz. If you really wanted to use a low profile for gaming, you could. This would work. I just don't prefer it because I just don't find it ergonomic in terms of gaming. It just feels really uncomfortable. Now, going back into this board, I mean, the design is beautiful. Really, really looks nice. But if I were to compare this to my Chilkey low profile, I would choose the Chilkey over the Lofree, especially when it's around the same price. Let me just give you a comparison. So definitely listening to both, right? The Lofree sounds a lot deeper, a lot nicer, and the Chilkey definitely has a little bit more of a clack to it, a higher pitch. And yeah, you can see there, like with the angles, they're at the same angle. But yes, Chilkey, you cannot change the angle except if you use their wrist rest add-on that they actually provide. You're getting so much more with the Chilkey. I'm gonna be honest, like you are getting actually a lot more than the Lofree. You're getting this really nice aluminum case with the Chilkey. The only difference though is, sorry guys that my camera wasn't focused there, but the Lofree does have more switches available, right? So you're looking at two different comparisons where they're both same price though. One has a better build quality than the other, but one has a lot more switch availability than the other. So Lofree, a lot more switches available. Chilkey, better quality in terms of what you're getting. That's what you're gonna have to choose between, right? You're gonna have to choose between a Chilkey low profile, which a nicer build in total, or a Lofree that's light, easy to carry, and has a lot more switches available. We'll have to see how the market goes with low profile switches, of course, but that's currently going to be the two choices you have right now from what I'm thinking. Of course, Newfie, I haven't tried them though, so I'm going to have to see that as well. But I know that this was hyped up and did really well in the Kickstarter, so wanted to just check it out. And yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty decent.
So let me know down below in the comments what your guys' thoughts were on the Lofree Lite 84. So this is the 84. It's like a 75% keyboard. Now, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this board because it does sound great. Feels really nice to type on, but it is a fully plastic build. And you know, that doesn't mean plastic doesn't mean it's bad, but when you consider the alternative, right? Like Chilkey's is also $100 USD, and it's a fully aluminum build, right? As you guys have saw on my channel, it's a full aluminum build that also sounds really nice. Now, it is a little bit more on the higher pitched clacky side compared to say the Lofree, and definitely the Lofree has a nicer, deeper sound to it. But I don't know. Is it worth spending the same money for a full plastic build that is just okay? I mean, you still have to turn on the wired mode and the wireless, so you actually have to turn it on. Without it, it doesn't work. And yeah, I don't know. It says to me that like I get how because of the like name value of the brand, right? And they've been making really nice products, of course, as well as the fact that, you know, this thing is coming with like much more switches available, right? I mean, this is the only positive pro that I can think about of getting a Lofree over a Chilkey is the fact that there's a lot more low profile switches available for this than there is the Chilkey. So I don't know if that's what you're looking for and you want something more like a lot more switches available, this is definitely the one that you should be looking at. If not, then I would say the Chilkey is going to be a better choice for you, just because the build quality and much more, like you're getting a lot more from that than you are from this. So thank you guys for watching, and please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time and check out the other videos I got.